and welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we are joined again, Derek Lunsford. Yay!
You guys are so exciting. Thanks for having me again.
It's Sunday and we've got Derek Lunsford on our screen. So, of course, we're excited, Derek.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Good.
All right. 7 weeks out.
Yeah, 7 weeks out from the Olympia, mate. Wow. I tell you what, I don't know what it is this year, but it seems like all you 212 guys have really stepped up your game.
Yeah, man, this is an awesome division, man. With the introduction of a couple new guys coming from Classic and winning some shows this year, and I think that like the 212 guys, like we're just like super excited. We're like, we're not the open guys, you know what I mean? Like as far as we don't get, I don't want to say we don't get the exposure. We definitely get plenty of exposure, but I'm just saying like the big draw is the open, and so us 212 are like we're gonna fight tooth and nail to make our division just that much better together. So.
Yeah, I think it was because all you guys, I mean, all you main contenders, you, Kamal, Sean Clarida, Angel Calderon, John Jewett, all you guys seem to be. I've been looking at the progress pictures, coming in, and I think it was when I saw you particularly, I saw the one where you were at Brandon Curry's gym opening and you were posing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, his legs, like how many weeks out was that? What, 10, 11 weeks out?
The 12? Most recent one was 13. I actually went there twice because it's actually a pretty cool place. It's pretty awesome. It's near where my coach lives there in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And so I was there at like 16 weeks out and then 13 weeks out. And Carbon Culture is an awesome, awesome gym. Lots of great people in the Tennessee area, Midwest area.
So I mean, so that one I saw must have been 13 weeks out. What your legs? What it was your quads. Because I was thinking, hang on a minute, your quads look contest ready now. So so what were you weighing at 13 weeks out in that video?
I'll tell you. I mean, I definitely wasn't stage ready by any means. We're going for that extra conditioning. Of course, but I don't actually really remember what I was weighing there. Man, I don't know. Lots of changes have been made since then, but yeah, just this year's been a lot different. I know at that time I was 13 weeks out this year versus 13 weeks out last year. I wasn't getting nearly as much food, so I definitely was eating a lot more food. Longer into the prep this year. We always start at like a little over. Let's just say maybe like half a year out.
Yeah. I mean, because a couple of years ago, there was a couple of areas your physique were lacking. Like there was maybe some quads from the front and your calves. And in the last 2 years, those areas now, I mean, your calves are really, really up now. I mean, they're like perfectly in balance with your physique. How do you feel like your physique has changed in the last year?
Yeah, thank you for that. My mindset changed first. It was before it was, when you get on this show, it was all about, hey, me versus this guy versus that guy in the competition, and that's exciting and stuff. And I'm still a big fan of it all, and I'm coming for that title this year. But my mindset shifted to like almost like hitting like the reset button.
Okay.
Like when I first started bodybuilding, I was like, why did you start? Oh, because you love to train. Okay. You're very competitive by spirit, by nature. You want to keep improving. But before, I think it was more or less like I wanted to beat everybody and you know what I mean? Versus now, like I said, I hit the reset button, kind of went back and was like, no, I love to train hard. I love to bodybuild. I love to sculpt my physique. So I was like, wait, instead of trying to like just constantly thinking about, win the title, win, and it's like, why don't I just try this mindset of how about I just be the best bodybuilder I can be, love what I do, and just be the best I can be at it. And I think since I've had that mindset shift for many months now, I can tell the difference in like my attitude when I go to the gym or just everything has just went to another level because I focus on myself versus concerning myself with anyone else. Now, when it comes to the competition, I look at competition as a motivator, as like it inspires me like it did from day one when I was looking at Jay Cutler, Phil Heath, Flex Lewis, who, we've had our go at the Olympia 2017, 2018, Jose Raymond. These guys are the guys I was admiring and looking up to from day one. And it's like, you know, I kind of got lost in the competition, you know, and I can take a step back and look at someone with crazy conditioning and dryness and go, man, I want to be like that or better. Like they're pushing me to be better myself.
Yeah.
Or someone has great back or great legs. So that's how I started. And then I kind of like dove deep into the competition, you know, all this hype with the Olympia and doing these interviews. And then I was like, let me just take a step back this year. Let me just like focus on just the love of bodybuilding. And that's what has been the difference from last year to this year, is that now I look at my physique as that, okay, like there's a lagging body part here, or I could bring this up, I could detail this better here. So I really focused on the areas where I could definitely improve, but then also not neglecting where my strengths are either. So I don't know, man, like I don't know. I said it a couple days ago in the last interview. I said, probably see my face how happy and excited I am about just getting into the gym, training and sculpting my physique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
hope
think
that makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah, I understand that. To me, it looks like you're bigger this year as well.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't even going to say anything, but I probably am. 3 to 6 pounds bigger at least. Like, you know, I would say 5 to 7, but
is that going to be a problem for you though, making weight?
You know, hey, I was a wrestler before this, you know. So,
yeah.
You know, the thing is the goal here is obviously we're going to make weight, no question. I mean, that's what we signed up for. We said we're going to do it, so we do it. The goal is to be our best at the 212, which is why we take so many weeks and months to prepare for this, right? So, yeah, man, it's going to be a good year because I'm definitely going to be improved. When I looked at coming off the year last year, I was like, man, how could I have been any better? Oh my God, you know, like everything was so great. And then I started looking, I was like, no, there's areas where I can definitely be better.
Yeah.
And so I got real excited about that, and I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, because I mean, last couple of years, I mean, we've seen pictures of you 4 weeks out, and you look ready. You look huge, full, everything's popping, and it's like you're looking to me maybe at around 220 to 225. This is kind of the position Flex Lewis was in for those 5-6 years, where he was kind of ready at 225, and then he had the nightmare those last 4 weeks to really crash down to like the stress of making sure that he makes weight. Are you going to make weight this year? That's what a lot of people are saying. They're saying, oh yeah, he looks great now, but you know, he'll crash down and whatever. And it's like, yeah. This is the rumor, because everyone's watching you, Derek. You know, you're second last 2 years, you know, and you're nearly there, you know. So I think we want to see that best version of you at 212.
You know, I think that is something that kind of comes down to too, is that I was always so concerned about, you know, the thoughts of others. Now I'm only concerned about like me with my internal happiness and loving bodybuilding and just getting better at it. And if I can know that I'm improving myself, it's going to reflect on stage. I don't need to talk. I don't need to do nothing. I just need to enjoy bodybuilding and let the people that are in bodybuilding inspire me, whether they're my competition or not. And I just feel really good about everything moving forward. You know, it's like I said, I feel like I hit the reset button, and I hope to have many, many years doing this. Yeah,
you've put on 4, 5, 6 pounds, you say, and I'm just wondering because, like, what do you?
There's strategy to it,
right? Okay. That's what I'm trying to get towards, you know.
That's the thing. People don't understand is that my entire life, like not just my 24/7, you know, throughout the week, but like my 365, like my entire life. Since I committed to bodybuilding has been structured around me being my best as a bodybuilder. Like I told you, you know, there was a little distraction there of like the competition and hype and this and that. I was new coming in. I don't think anybody knows coming in what it's going to be.
I mean, the thing is, Derek, you were very good very quick. I mean, 2017, I don't think anyone's ever gone from being... I mean, Rachel Daniels did it in the women's physique. She went from turning pro to a week later winning a pro show. Yeah, it's like, and honestly, it's like awesome. You just kind of thrust into this, you're amateur in mid-July, and then like a few months later, you're placing 5th at Olympia and winning Rookie of the Year. So you really went, your rise was like amateur to pro and winning a pro show winner in a matter of like 6-7 weeks.
So that's why I said I had to take a step back. I had to like just reevaluate things.
Okay.
And I don't know, man. Like I'm just things are good, but yeah, as far as like the strategy, as far as like putting on size and this and that, it wasn't like the last 3 years have not been an all out like let's blow up and get huge and like try to gain as much tissue as possible. It's like it's been very specific that I actually took time away from the gym.
Okay.
I actually like I scheduled it into the plan to do that because years before when I was an amateur coming up the ranks, I had taken a couple weeks off for various reasons, and it actually helped me improve. Like I actually grew a lot more after. Okay. So this time I extended just a couple more days of like moderate training or well, I don't know. It's hard for me not to be in the gym, but I went to the Philippines for a couple weeks, and that was my break. And then I was like, okay, now I need to come back and switch gears as far as like getting the body functioning and eating more on the bodybuilding diet again. So just so that way, like, because if I was here in the U.S. and like really trying to stack on the weight and size, I mean, I'd be shoot, man, like, you know what I mean? So it was a strategy to make sure to put the fine details in the right muscle groups that I felt like I was lagging a little bit. And,
yeah, you've definitely done that. You've definitely done that. So at 7 weeks out, what are you weighing now? Come on, tell us, come on.
No, man, I've been a lot more quiet in terms of my exposure and things like that this year. It's like there is some excitement for me with it, right? I'm just excited to just roll through this process, let it be like a self-learning process inside and out, toughen up the mind and the body. And when the show gets here, that's when everything will come to fruition as far as like internal and external.
Yeah.
Everything that I learned from this process is going to come to my attention in December, and as well as the physical too for everyone else who's a bodybuilding fan. So I think keeping everything a little bit more hush hush is a little bit more exciting for me.
Oh, okay. So, So, what do you think you could be ready at? Have you given any more thoughts to doing an open show after the Olympia, or is it just purely the Olympia focused on?
Hey man, like I love bodybuilding and I intend to compete a lot in my career.
Yeah.
But man, look, there's no reason for me at all to focus on anything else besides literally like what I'm doing right now today for December. And other than that, I just need to, do my best and be my best. And that's all I can ask for. And that's what I expect for myself. But I don't put the pressure on myself anymore. I go because I love it and I don't pressure myself.
So have you been keeping an eye on the other 212 guys? Like obviously Kamal, the current champion. There's George Peterson moving up from Classic. Were you surprised when Keon Pearson pulled out?
Yeah, I was actually very surprised. I was looking forward to him being there as well. He's phenomenal body. Wow, his transformation is amazing. Much respect to that.
A year and a half.
Look,
wow.
You can't discredit anyone for their hard work and what they've done. It would have been awesome to have him there. I mean, who knows? Maybe he could turn around and do the show. But whatever it is, his reason, it must be a good one. But do I pay attention to my competition? Well, I know who they are, and I know they're phenomenal bodybuilders, but I don't really look too closely into them.
Really?
Maybe like I said, the last couple of years, I was big on social. Like my life was social media. Like that's something I need to mention too. Is that like when I moved to Florida, I left my entire family. I left my fiance, who's sitting here now.
Yep.
She's studying. She's almost done with her grad school.
Oh, fantastic.
She's going to be a physical therapist, so she's almost done.
Oh, congratulations. Well done. Keep going.
Thank you. I'm so blessed by her. She's my number one blessing, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. If you'd be right with you right from the start.
10 years now, almost.
Yeah.
9-10 years. Yeah. So, man, I'm really excited to be married to her. Hopefully next year.
Fantastic.
And she'll be here as well. But I wanted to mention that, my living conditions are much different. This year, I mean, I'm my fiance and I, we purchased a house together,
yeah,
and we're very much in love with it. But it's set up my routine, my daily routine, a lot better for what I'm doing this year versus last year when I was in a very small apartment. I was like shut in. Like this,
right.
this place has a lot of open windows, so it's like it makes me feel like I'm like a little free. Whereas I felt like I was like shoved into like a little box.
Yeah.
It was like a 500 square foot apartment I was living in for 2.5 years.
Oh my God.
Prepping for 2 shows by myself.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I was just stressed to the max, and I was always just on my phone, social media, just like looking through. And it's like, I don't know, man. I wanted to get away from that for just a second, and so I did, and here we are, and 7 weeks away, man.
Oh, I can't wait. Honestly, mate, I think I don't know what it is. I think it's because like it seems like all you main guys, or you top guys, the guys that are going to be in that top 6, you're the ones that everyone seems to have stepped their game up this year, and I think there's an excitement. There's an excitement for the 212. I think I personally never seen it like this. Certainly not that I can remember anyway. It seems like there's a real plus you've got guys like George Peterson who are switching over, and and there's Angel Calderon and John Jewett. These guys are kind of finally bringing it, and you've got Kamal, with the storyline there of him getting to, he's in your backyard, he's in Florida now.
Yeah.
And I think it's really training with Flex, and I think it's really there's a lot of storylines that is really kind of building a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation for the Olympia in the 212 this year.
I know, man. That's what I meant by us. Like, I don't want to say us doing it together, but we all want to just be our best. I think we obviously all share the love for bodybuilding, but we all share this passion for progression.
Yeah.
And I think that's what brings out that spirit in the 212. Like I said in the beginning, was like, the main draw is always the open bodybuilding. I don't care, whatever. But I think us just being that go-getter, we're gonna do anything it takes. We love this stuff, and I don't know, man. A lot of 212 guys are super down to earth too. I mean, really, the open guys as well, and classic. I get along with virtually everybody. So.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of nervousness when you had Flex Lewis and Jose Raymond leaving the 212, and then 2018 it was taken out from the Arnold Classic, the 212, and it was like shit. What's really happening with this class? And then this year, it's really like there's a real surge of excitement. I think that it's taken everyone by surprise, especially with the pandemic and everything's gone on this year. And I think there's almost as much excitement for the 212 as there for any of the other divisions this year.
I just think that there's excitement for bodybuilding, for physical fitness, for people to just do stuff and get excited about it. Sports in general, competition. People just want to be entertained. They want to go do stuff. So I think everybody's just motivated right now. And I think this is going to be, I actually have no question that this is going to be a very, very exciting 2020 Olympia. And I only believe that that's going to kickstart 2021's entire schedule. So I think that come December, post Olympia, like once the Olympia weekend is here, I think 2021 rolls around, and it's going to be a huge year for gyms, supplements, bodybuilding, everything.
Yeah. Have you because you're in Florida? How far are you from Flex Lewis's gym?
Probably like 4 hours.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, because Florida's quite big, isn't it? So it's not like...
I mean, I've been there before. Like, he invited me down, and I've been to his gym. A very nice gym. Very nice gym. Yeah. Very nice area, too. Boca. A lot more upscale there.
So where are you based in Florida? Where are you in Florida?
Kind of like the Clearwater, Tampa area.
Right. Okay. We just had Phil Clahar on. He's on from Tampa as well.
I absolutely love this area. This is my favorite place. I wouldn't trade it right now.
Yeah.
Right now, at least.
Yeah. Well, Derek, I just wanted to get you. I can see you've been very guarded. I was really hoping you'd talk some smack, but that's good. It's good to hear you're in a good place, and you're looking in a bit bigger place now, and you got your partner with you, your lady, and I think that's great. And you're getting married, and it seems like everything's kind of gone great for you this year. But, despite everything that's gone on this year, it's nice to hear that you've been fine.
One thing, this actually, sorry to interrupt you, but this actually has been the most challenging year of my life. But I chose to take it as, and it wasn't just like the Olympia. It was like a lot of different things early on in the year. But the thing is, man, is that I just chose. I'm like, this is like a make or break point, right?
Yeah.
Like this has been like one thing after another, and I'm talking like some real personal, like, wow, like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe. But my mentality is always like, somebody else has it worse than me. Like, I actually genuinely like am happy and love my life. So like, it's hard for me to admit like, oh, bad times, like, oh, I'm struggling or all this. I went through this challenge. But this actually, I will admit, this has absolutely no questions asked been the hardest year of my life. But I know there's so many more people out there that have it and still have it worse than me. So it's like, I have it very good, and I'm thankful. But yeah, so I just want to clarify.
Good. Well, I've just been amazed at how athletes have not been able to just compete, but how they've somehow managed to improve their physiques. I've been blown away by, the Tampa, then we had New York and the Cali and all these shows, and I've just been like, how are these guys? How, with it's not just getting to gyms, but it's just everything, getting food and, and the quarantines and training in masks. And yet bodybuilders are still managing to rise to the top. They're still managing to rise to the occasion and improve. It's absolutely incredible and a real mindset of a champion bodybuilder.
Yeah, man. Like, I think it just comes down to how bad you want something, right? Like, if you can find a way to make it if you want something bad enough, you're going to find a way to make it happen. And that goes back again to the 212 division and all the Olympia bodybuilders and competitors. It's like, the ones that want it that bad, they're going to try to do their best to find a way. And those who were unable to, hey, that is unfortunate, but I think,
Yeah. Okay, Derek. I think that's all I wanted to know, mate. I wanted to get an update from you and see how you're doing, because, like I said, there's a real excitement building for this Olympia this year for the 212. It's great to see as well, because I think like when the Arnold Classic took it out in 2018, and it was like 2019. It was like, shit, what's happening to the 212 division? But it's found this kind of new direction and this new intensity and this new passion from the fans, from the athletes. You're all looking incredible. At 13 weeks out, when I saw that Carbon Culture video, I was like, holy shit, Derek is really. You look 4 weeks out, mate. You look 3-4 weeks out. You could step on stage in 3-4 weeks. I was so impressed, and then Kamal was sending me pictures, and I've seen pictures of Sean Clarida, and we see Angel Calderon, and all these guys, and George Peterson, and they're on it. It's going to be a fierce battle this year.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited, man. Look, I can't ever imagine not being a bodybuilding fan. I'm still a super fan, so for me to be a part of the competition along with being a fan, this is a super cool year, man. Super cool.
Okay then, Derek. Well, I will see you in 7 weeks, and looking forward to seeing you on stage, mate. And I think to see the new improvements to your physique, because I could see straight away, there was improvements going on in all areas of your physique. So it's just going to be interesting to see you looking, at your best on December 19th, 18th, 19th. Yeah.
Yeah, a week before Christmas.
Yeah, a week before Christmas, and then you can get nice and fat for Christmas then. So, all right then, mate. Well, good to see you doing well, and thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Nice talking with you.
All right, thank you, Derek. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we are joined all the way from Tampa, Florida, Phil Clahar. Yes!
Hey, how you doing, Giles? What's going on, brother?
Very good, thank you, Phil. Phil, I've got to be honest, mate. I'm feeling shame.
Oh, yeah? Explain that to me.
I'm feeling shame because well, I'm going somewhere with this. Because before Tampa, mate, when you kind of seemingly came out of nowhere. I knew nothing about you, and I feel very, very ashamed. I'm very sorry about this.
Oh, that's not really a big issue. The thing is, when I was an amateur, everybody knew me back in 2008 when I won the Florida State. Of course, once you get on the pro scene, you're basically right back at square one. So now you have to earn that status as a pro. Yeah. So I'm a late starter. So I didn't go pro. I went pro at a later age, where a lot of these guys are going pro much older.
Yeah.
So they have that scene following them throughout their career, where I started mine in Jersey. So I didn't have that, that guidance. I did a lot of things on my own in Jersey before I moved here to Florida.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your contest history, because like I maybe if I saw some old pictures, I'd maybe recognize you or remember you. But I mean, because you're so good at Tampa and you're so impressive, I just thought, why didn't I know about this guy? So tell us a bit of back history.
Well, I started competing in 1999.
Wow.
In New Jersey. It was the it was so long ago.
21 years ago.
Yeah, it's the Gold Classic.
Yeah.
Back in 1999, and it doesn't matter. But
Yes.
So I started there, and I actually took second in my first show, and I asked the judges, why I dominated every guy up there. They said because you didn't wear protein. And
really?
I said, I didn't know black people had to wear protein.
Yeah. Wow.
So I came back to the night show, and I had the protein on. Now it doesn't matter now,
Yeah.
But said, Steve, now you look much better underneath the lights. So now I knew, because I remember I was coaching myself.
Yeah.
Back then, it was just me and another friend of mine. He had a coach. I was stealing what he had and working off of that, So I coached myself. So I didn't know a lot of the ins and outs. But when I went to Pennsylvania in 2001 is when I won the overall there. I had it all together.
Yeah.
And I met, was it Ronnie Coleman? No, I think I met Ronnie Coleman in the second Gold Classic that I did. Ronnie Coleman was a guest poser. Jay Cutler was there, and Nasser El-Somebody was there as well.
Wow, all guest posing.
Yeah, and I was very young and very excited. But Jay did say to me, he probably won't remember it right now, but he said to me, are you thinking about going pro? And I said, no, I'm just doing this for fun.
Yeah.
And he said, you have what it takes to go pro. And I think after he told me that, God knows when that was, I was in my, my middle 20s.
Yeah.
Late 20s. It just triggered something in me to try to keep going. And then I met my wife in 2000, towards the end of 2007. And she said, you should come to Florida. Bodybuilding is, your career take off up there. And I said, no, you guys, Florida bodybuilders are not better than Jersey bodybuilders, right?
Whoa. East Coast war.
Jersey and New York carries the best bodybuilders, right?
Yeah.
So
huge scene in New York.
I came up here and I hooked up with Tim Gardner, and it was all go from there. I mean, I entered the Florida State within. I asked him, can we get ready? I think it was 12 weeks out, something like that. And I wasn't in the greatest shape. But he said, let's try it. He said, if you got what it takes, we could do it. And we did it, and I won the overall there. And that's when it took off. I was trying to enter the Nationals right after that. But I am a citizen of Jamaica. So I'm just a legal resident here.
Yeah.
So I was going through that type of thing to deal with. And at the time, there was no shows like they have them now, the international shows, so you can go pro. So I retired because we're trying everything. I mean, I went through Jamaica, Grenada. We tried everything, and I won all those shows. But, when you go to these other countries, in their mind, you're only coming here for one thing.
Yeah.
Or they're going to take care of their people up in the Caribbean before they, take care of a guy coming from Florida, regardless from a Jamaican citizen, So I went through the whole spill there, and then I competed in the Bahamas.
Wow.
And I actually, believe it or not, I don't want to take anything from the gentleman that won. But, I think I won that show. I took second, but you have to win the overall in Aruba. And, I was stunnstruck then because then I was ready to retire again. I don't want to use the word quit because when I left the sport after everything ran into Florida State and everything in 2009, at the end of 2009, I retired for almost 9 years.
9 years. Because I'm thinking, if you've been competing 21 years and you've been good right from the start, I'm thinking there must have been a couple of times when you took a break, from competing, because I'd have known about you. Your name would have been circulated and we would have heard about you, because you're really good,
So I took that break and I started coaching. I run my own company. I run my own personal training business, me and my wife, and I started coaching.
Yeah.
I wasn't coaching before. I was just focused on just getting people in shape and healthy, and I was fine with that. I'm doing well with that.
Is that competitors, or is it like lifestylers, or a mixture of both?
It's both now, but before I started coaching competitors, it was just regular Joe Schmoes, businessmen, businesswomen, regular stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when I started coaching, my clients were asking me, they was like, look at the size of you. You could still compete.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man. I said, I don't want to get back into the whole political aspect of bodybuilding. I said, I'm happy right now. And I was lying to myself. I really was. I had the itch to come back. It just had to be the right timing for me to come back.
Were you still training hard in that time, in those 9 years?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I always looked like a bodybuilder. I never stopped training. I still train. Knock on wood, I've never had an injury since day one of me training.
Okay.
So, it was once I kept hearing it over and over again, something was telling me, something was telling me I needed to come back. And that's when I went through the whole Caribbean Avenue. And, when that failed, we met Joel Stubbs at the time. He was coaching the gentleman that actually beat me over there. And my wife was like, oh, you should go talk to Joel. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Because I don't have that personality really just to walk up to people and ask for help. Or I'm just not that guy. I'm just not built that way. So she did, of course.
Yeah.
Because you always do. Don't listen to me. Just go right ahead. And he said he'll be happy to help me. He said, Phil has what it takes to be a very good pro.
Wow.
So he started coaching me, and I had 8 weeks to get ready for the Toronto. Yeah, she's helping me. The Toronto in Canada.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that show. It was the Ben Weeder Cup in Toronto.
So this
2017.
This was the amateur or pro?
Right. This was the amateur to go pro.
Right. Okay. Because I know that I know Joe Seaman. He won the amateur last year, and then like a few hours later, he took fourth in the pro show. So you went there with the goal of getting your pro card, coached by Joel Stubbs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I was in probably the best shape I've ever been in. He did a great job.
Fantastic.
Us working together. So I told my wife, I'm going to enter the Open, and I'm going to enter the Masters. I said, if I win the Masters in the overall and don't win the overall in the Open, then I'm not pursuing a bodybuilding career, because I want to be able to stand up with all these young boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I won both.
Oh, wow. You won both. Wow. That's a big show as well. Big show.
Oh, that year is where, I'm going to tell you right now, I got to give props. I don't know all the athletes' names, but they said that was the biggest show in Canada in a long time.
It's a big show. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And I was just very happy, the turnout.
Yeah.
And then I did compete in the Tampa in 2017.
Yep.
18. And I didn't do that well. I placed, I think 14th place my first show.
Okay. Because I was at the 2017, and I said 2017. I was so you were in there 2018. You didn't place very well at the 2018.
Yeah, okay. I placed 14th. I came back the following year.
Yep.
With a different coach at the time, in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honestly, I brought conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the pictures. The only thing was, I can say for my height, I wasn't carrying enough muscle at the time, but I was shredded to the bones in 2019.
How tall are you, Phil? Sorry, how tall are you?
6 foot.
6 foot. Yeah, you look. I could tell you look like a big guy with a big frame.
Yeah. So I took ninth there.
Okay.
And then I said, I could do much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back. Of course, you guys know I came back this year, and the placing was much better. It was 4th place.
I mean, you looked absolutely tremendous. I mean, I was like, when you came out, because I was, on the play-by-play on it, I was like, holy shit! Look at this guy's back. Look at his conditioning, his symmetry. You got nice flow. I just like, how on earth? Where has this guy come from?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I hide.
Yeah, So what's
I just started doing the Instagram type thing.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm more old school.
Yeah.
I really don't like doing all that. I don't like really inviting a lot of strangers into my life. I keep a very small circle. We're Christians, and we just like to live a positive, positive and healthy life.
Yeah.
So negativity I try to stay away from, and we all know social media. Once you start putting yourself out there, you're going to get some people that has some negative things to say.
Yeah.
So, of course, now these times that we're in, my wife was like, well, we got to do it, so I started doing it. And I make sure that I block out anything that I see. It doesn't bother me because, I was a wrestler and a boxer. I've dealt with, people that agree and disagree.
Yeah.
You just have to have a strong backbone. But now I'm starting to post more stuff and get involved in Instagram and letting people know about me. And, Ron Harris interviewed me. Great guy, man. He's, that guy is great. We've been communicating back and forth with Ron Harris throughout the years.
Good.
And then, he always helps out any way he can. He put a video of me training right before the Chicago, just trying to get my name out there, and a lot of other people just like you, which I appreciate it. But I think this year, after doing the Chicago, which was by far was my best shape ever.
It was incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, Max Charles told me, I had a lot of pros tell me, boy, you brought it this time.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to nail it. We're going to nail it next year.
Yeah. No, because so you took, did you say 9th place in 2019 at the Tampa? Is that what you said?
18th.
So 18th, right. So you must have put on a serious amount of muscle from last year to this year to go from there to 4th place at Tampa. How much bigger were you?
You know what? To honestly tell you, not even Ron could believe it. The Tampa, in 2018, I was 250.
250, okay. Wow, that's big.
250. I only came weight-wise 3 pounds heavier than Tampa Pro.
Wow. Was it just better conditioning or symmetry or just everything? Or
no, I came in with more muscle. Ron says you must not have any dense muscle because you look like you were 270 on stage. He said you really look 270 on stage.
Yeah.
Same thing, even Chicago. I came in at 250 at the Chicago and still looked big.
Yeah, I think some people forget that you can actually improve a physique without having to come in heavier. I've seen physiques even come in lighter and they look bigger because everything's tighter and the waist is smaller and all the tie-ins and the separation's deeper. So physique can be improved, and bigger isn't always better in terms of body weight and trying to improve a physique. I mean, that with it being coaching athletes, it's not all about body weight.
And that's the problem I ran into at the Chicago.
Right.
We started, we got our weight up too much. Chicago is 267 pounds, and I didn't even look bigger than the Tampa Pro.
Yeah. I
had a lot of, in my lower glute area, too much water being held. I don't like playing the size game, and, my thing is with my philosophy, I know my genetics. I know I will push myself regardless. Whatever I'm told I'm going to do. So the Chicago, which I tell my wife jokingly, I don't even want to remember that show because, Tim is a good eye for me, Tim Gardner.
Yeah.
And when I came out, he basically said, you weren't Tampa. As soon as you stepped out of New York,
he
said, you weren't Tampa. And I look back at the pictures, and of course, in my eyes, I thought I was good. I came in very big. But I noticed the size game is not for me weight-wise.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know I'm better conditioned when I'm at a lower weight. And my body will stay at a certain weight; it won't go under.
Yeah.
Now, granted, do I think I'm going to be 250 for next year? No, because I've already put on 27 pounds of lean muscle mass in 2 weeks since the Chicago.
Okay. So, I'll be honest. I thought you looked very. I'll have to go and compare the pictures from Tampa to Chicago because I thought in Chicago, you looked terrific, and you were in first. Was it first call out you were in?
Yes, that's the first time I've actually been called out in the first call out. So there was some nerves involved in that as well.
Okay.
I got a little nervous.
Yeah.
But yes, the first call out.
Because, that happened to Brandon Curry at the 2017 Olympia. He was first call out, but he made 8th place. He did exactly what, it was very similar, sort of thing. But I thought you looked really good I thought you were good in Chicago. So obviously you're shutting it down now until next year.
Yeah, we're shutting it down until next year. Of course, I'm with Team HD.
Fantastic.
I signed with them. Actually, Dorian helped me the last 2.5 weeks for the Chicago. And let me tell you something. I was basically on my own for 3 weeks. And I just reached out to him to see, what he can do to help me. I know a lot of coaches don't like jumping in at the last minute.
Yeah.
But I gave him my backstory and everything about me, and he's like, Phil, listen, whatever I can do, just shoot me over what you're doing, and we'll see what I can do. And let me tell you something. Without him being at the Chicago Pro, I don't think I would have did so well, because he was hands-on before and when I landed into that hotel. Like every 2 hours, he was on me, and I never had that type of attention.
That's good
from a coach. And we came in great. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So now he has me for a year now, and he's going to work his magic. And
wow. Next year. Well, obviously, he helped Antoine. He's helping a lot of athletes. He gets good results.
He has a lot of great athletes. Great athletes.
Yeah. So, wow. So, next year, have you thought any plans about what you want to do for next year yet?
Well, we're thinking, keeping our fingers crossed, with everything that's going on. We would like to go to Canada, Toronto, and do that show there. Yeah. That's where I got my pro card. I would love to go back there and win if possible. Yeah. I always do the Tampa because it's right here in my backyard. So, I'm always going to do the Tampa.
And the New York Pro.
The New York Pro was in our backyard, but I think next year it'll be back in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're thinking about Puerto Rico because that was my main focus this year. It was supposed to be Tampa, Puerto Rico, and Chicago. That's really the game plan we're supposed to have. Then Puerto Rico got canceled. So we're looking at now, granted, these are ideas I'm going to run by Dorian. It's, whatever he thinks is best, because it's all about picking the right shows. We all know that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But that's my game plan for next year. I don't want to run 3 shows like I did this year. I think even though I got better as I went on towards the end, it did. Chicago did take a big impact on my body. It was burnt out to the bone.
Yeah.
And speaking to the judges, they did tell me the 2 minor things, and it was because I was burnt out. Okay. They had me basically at 3rd place at the time. And I had faded. They basically told me I faded.
They were moving you around because I was watching it, and I've got the footage that we covered in last episode, and they moved you right next to I forget. You were moved right into the center, and I was like, wow, Phil's gonna, he's in the contention for top 3, top 5, whatever, and then he got 8th, and I was like, oh, okay, what happened? So you said it was because you faded.
Yeah, they said when I turned to the back, because I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody knows. They push you. This one around, I got pushed really hard. Everybody got pushed hard.
Yeah.
And they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I firmly believe, and this is what I really believe, when I first came out to do my mandatories for the minute, Steve Weinberger, basically, I looked great. He said, you look flawless. I mean, that's how you end up in the first call out. I think a lot to do with it is I got nervous. It was, I heard first call out, I got nervous. I overposed myself, which if you look at the video, I posed first, and I was still holding poses before they went into their second pose that was called out.
Right. Okay.
I never done that in the history of bodybuilding. I tried something different to try to keep the eyes on me with the judges, and I think that I normally pace myself and really think about the pose and crack down hard on it. I overposed myself, and I was told I started holding a little bit of water in my glutes, towards the bottom part of my glutes, and I guess I don't see it as clearly as they do, but they got a better vision because they're sitting down.
Yeah.
They said that, as you're going and you're breathing, your midsection was extending on certain poses.
Right. Okay. Then they marked you down for it. They marked you down.
Yeah. Those were the 2 things that they saw. But other than that, they had me at 3rd until those things happened.
So it's more of like a pacing issue for you when you compete. Because I've seen, you always get the guys that come out, and some, they just start, they go for the first call out, and then they're called out again, and you're like, hang on, is that the same guy? And the other guys come out and they just expand, they get better, they dry out, they look fuller the more they pose. So you're one of the guys that comes out. I remember Jay Cutler and Dennis Wolf are very much like that, tall, Jay Cutler's not that tall, but Dennis Wolf is a tall, big guy. And almost by the end of the prejudging, it looked like a totally different bodybuilder, like completely different.
Right.
Akim, I thought Akim changed. I couldn't believe what he changed from prejudging to night show. It was almost like a couple of weeks difference, not a few hours, He
looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
I got to give him his props, man. I've been watching Akim for several years now, and that level of conditioning he brought in to Chicago. He's always been a big guy. I've never seen that level of conditioning. I'm gonna tell you right now, the whole lineup in that place was steep. That was a deep show.
Chicago, Phil, Chicago was unbelievable. I mean, I was on the play-by-play. I said it's going to be a fight for top 10 this show. I mean, it was really. I mean, you had the new guys like Nick Walker. We had, Max Charles. We had, it was just Justin Rodriguez in the shape of his life. You had Akeem. I mean, it was just stacked. It was yourself. I mean, Joe Seaman. I mean, or did he get like 12th or something? And he was looking absolutely the best I've ever seen him. So it was a real the lineup was. Sometimes you get the top three that are very good and everybody else is kind of fighting for fourth. But it was a really deep lineup. I mean, there was guys that were nailing it in terms of condition that weren't even making top 10. It was really, really impressive show.
And that's what I like, honestly, because, when I enter shows, I don't look at the list. I don't, honestly, not to be sarcastic, I don't care who comes to the show because I'm battling against myself. I'm trying to be a better Phil, Phil the Jamaican Tank, every show I can be. So I don't look at who's in the show. I respect, and I would never disrespect these guys that's been competing longer than me and been killing it. But my philosophy is when I train, I'm training for that guy that's in the garage, just like a Rocky movie, that's in the garage that nobody knows, that comes out of nowhere. So, and that's my philosophy. But my wife, she's the one that pays attention to who's all in the lineup. And then, right before we go, she'll find some way to tell me, and I don't want to know. Because, once you get in that mindset, I don't want to know. I'm angry. I'm hungry. I don't want to hear anything, And I said, it doesn't matter because you know what? I want the top level guys in there, like Sergio Oliva and all these guys, because if I could rank next to them and place in the, in the top 5, top 10, or whatever. Right now, we're going for the top 5 and we're trying to win next year. So I want the best of the best because that's telling me I belong.
Please tell me you've trained with fellow Jamaican Dwayne Walker because he's Florida as well, isn't he?
He's Florida, but he's Miami.
Oh, is that like a short drive or? No,
Miami is 4 hours away. He's more in Dwayne is more in a party town. Miami. That's for the ballers, man. We're over here in Tampa.
You're in the quiet area.
No, but I spoke to him a couple of times since the Tampa. Very nice guy. Yes, he still has a strong accent. Mine only comes out when my family comes around. My Jamaican accent comes out, but he has a strong accent. He actually mailed me and my wife the Muscle Development magazine that we were in, which was I really appreciated. He mailed it to us because we couldn't find a copy nowhere.
Phil, do you know who wrote that?
No, you?
Yeah, it was me who wrote that. Yeah, it's my column.
My wife told me that. My wife told me that. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, because I was like, where are these Jamaican guys coming from? I was like, these two newcomers, and I said, Jamaica is like quite a small place, and they're producing some kick-ass bodybuilders, I'm
going to tell you right now, you got to watch out for even their physiques and classic physiques. Just the guys from the islands. But yeah, Jamaica is turning pros left and right every year. And, we're up and coming. It's just a little small island nobody knew about, but they're up and coming, and I'm going to always represent them. First place I represented the United States. Don't get me wrong, because I've been here longer. And when I competed in Toronto, I actually competed for the United States. So I always represent Jamaica, man. I mean, that's where I was born and raised, and I'm can continue to push. I mean, Jamaican muscle. That's what I tell everybody. Jamaican muscle.
But plus you got plus don't forget you got Sean Roden and Nathan Diasher, both Jamaicans. So I mean that's 4. Like Dwayne Walker, yourself.
And I think we got Quinton.
No, he's Jamaican. He's Jamaican.
HD.
Okay, so you got 5 very, very, very good open pros there, all from Jamaica. Yeah. Now, also, please tell me you trained back with Joel Stubbs back in the day. Please.
No.
What?
Actually, no.
What?
Because Joel's so far away. Even he wanted me when he was coaching me. He wanted me to come up for about 2 weeks, but then we got hit with the hurricane and all that crazy stuff started going on.
Okay.
Honestly, tell you the truth, my back. My dad, believe it or not, my dad was not a tall guy. I got my mom's height. My dad was short. I think my dad was about 5'9".
Yeah.
Not even. I don't even think he was even good. At least 5'6" or 5'7". He was a professional boxer, but he had wide shoulders and a huge back for his short height.
Well, definitely hereditary, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, genetically, that there even though that's my best body part to work is back. That's genetics, man. I mean, I hit it from all angles. I don't do anything crazy, but I'm genetically blessed with that.
That's one of the best backs I've seen. I honestly think since Joel Stubbs, there was a British bodybuilder called Selwyn Cottrell. Do you ever hear of him? Back in 90, you talk about very, very early 90s. And to be honest, when you turn to the back, that's who you reminded me of. But you got better legs than both Joel and Selwyn, who were both amazing bodybuilders as well.
And they're coming up. I mean, even Ian gave me some props for the Chicago. He said Phil brought his legs up. And that's one of the big things that, when you're tall, trying to pull out a tall physique, anything 6 foot and after 6 foot, it's not easy to pack on muscle on that type of frame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we put more size on the legs, and Doran got a game plan, and my legs I just sent him update pics yesterday, being 27 pounds heavier than the Chicago, which he can't believe. I grow with the right coach and the proper foods, because he's all about gut health. So everything is high quality foods we're eating right now.
Good.
Farm raised, high quality. I mean, I love it. I've never been coached this way. So my body's actually responding, and we're doing some things to bring in that midsection. So the quality food with the vacuums he has me doing every day, I firmly believe I got a killer physique coming next year.
Oh, I can't wait.
Ready.
Okay, so what do you?
I hope everybody's ready.
So I'm just trying to add it up in my head. You must be like close to 300 pounds now.
I'm 277 right now.
Oh, is that all?
So normally at this, even I think last year I got up to 308, but it wasn't this shape I'm carrying right now.
Yeah.
It's normally off season. I just get really carried away. We go out to eat all the time and all kinds of stuff. But after this year, I was telling my wife, I said, we're going to buckle down and we're going to have an off season. We're going to stay on the grind. Mm-hmm. I just need a coach that's going to be on me and hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And I have that now. So all eyes is on me every week for update picks. So we're going to see where the weight lands. He said, we'll see if you plateau a little bit, and we'll see where the weight lands. But I think I'll probably put on another 10 by next week.
Oh, I think I 260 shredded next year, everything perfectly balanced. I think that's going to be
that'll be beautiful.
That's a pro show winner in 2021, 100%.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it, man. With y'all help, because y'all been doing great, man. Let me tell you, I watch all your interviews. Your interviews is crazy because one thing me and my wife points out is you're very excited. You love what you do, and I like that when people are doing things they love to do. Because bodybuilding, I love it. Like somebody said, Phil, how much longer do you think you can go at the age you are? Yeah. I said, God willing, I got 5 to 6 more years. I'm healthy.
Yep.
I get blood work done every 6 months.
Good.
I feel good. I don't have any injuries. You know what I mean? I train safe. So long as the body holds up spiritually and I stay focused mentally, I mean, the sky's the limit. Age map doesn't matter to me. Look, Dexter Jackson already proved that.
I was just about to say Dexter Jackson. I mean, there's a guy that every 3 or 4 years, You'll have one showing where you think, he's starting to slip now. The legs are starting, and then he comes back the next year, and it's like how he's just rewound his physique by 5 years here, and he looks as good as he did, or better.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
People out
he's
there
a vampire.
Starts hating on him, and telling him he's too old and he can't do it. And let me tell you something. When you tell men like us that, it's just gonna make us train harder and better. Because let me tell you something. It's like wine. Wine gets better with age. You get what I'm telling you?
Oh, now you're talking my language. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted there by wine. I really like wine.
Oh, yeah. You drink it, don't you?
Actually, fetch me a glass, please. Fetch me a glass now. I fancy one now.
We just get better in time, and plus we have that mature muscle that everybody's trying so hard to get it fast. Everybody wants it fast. But, we put the time in. I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. Never stopped doing it.
30. And you've been, so I'm assuming 99 wasn't your first show.
1999 was my first.
Oh, it was your first show. Oh, 21 years. 21 years. Wow, that's incredible. So you still think you want to go maybe another 4 or 5 years? But like I said, if you're getting blood work and you're training sensibly and you're eating well and you're eating good quality foods and you're feeling good and there's no reason why you couldn't keep improving for the next 4 or 5 years.
I was telling somebody in the gym my goals, and I said, I got another, because including this year, I said, I have 5 years. 5 years is what we all try to give ourselves time, but we don't know how much time we have. But I said, my game plan is 5 years. And then somebody said, well, Phil, you haven't aged since we've known you since 2009. You look the same. They said, why would you stop there? I said, I probably won't. Yeah. I said, but right now I'm going to go. And until I lose the love of the sport, until when it becomes like, oh man, here we go. When I start feeling that in the gym, it's time to pack it up. But right now I'm feeling like I'm 27 years old. I'm loving it. You know what I mean? I'm getting more involved in it. And you understand, I have a full-time job. So to do what I'm doing and work this all in, and, you know, God bless my wife, because, you know, she takes a lot of heat from me because she's on me with my posing. And I come home sometimes at, you know, at 7, 8 o'clock at night because I do 2 shifts. So I do a morning shift and I train. Then I come home and get a nap for an hour and a half. I've been doing that since God knows when to rest and heal. Then I go back to the gym and I got more clients I train. So sometimes I come in really late and I have boxing classes. Not just personal training. I got boxing classes. I got online clients. I got, you know, I'm all over the place. And I have to fit all this in and my bodybuilding. And people don't understand that, you know, I'm not a guy that, you know, is sitting back on all kinds of sponsorships and could just focus on bodybuilding. I'm working a full-time job, you know, and it takes a big demand because, you know, my wife's the president, I'm the vice president, so it's just both of us. So we're running this company, and this year alone, I'm almost up to 27 clients total. Whoa. And to be hands-on with that and still do bodybuilding, you got to love bodybuilding because I always make sure I'm getting my time in, and then she makes sure when it's showtime that the posing is being done, even though I'm so tired and I don't want to do it.
Got to do it, mate. Yeah, I think there's one thing that's shone through with all the athletes that have risen to the top and competed and also improved is the ones with the real work ethic. People like yourself who are like, your days are planned almost to the minute, you know, and it's just grind, work, training, you know, and you're trying to fit everything in. And, you know, it's really been I think this year with all the challenge, I mean, there's you bodybuilders have just smashed through these obstacles this year. I'm so impressed with some of the stories I've heard throughout the year, you know, I mean, it's been unbelievable.
That's true. And, you know, I want to give a shout out to definitely Tim Gardner, because I'm going to tell you what right now. I mean, Tim Gardner has been a mentor to me for a very long time.
Top guy, yeah, he's a top guy.
And I've been close to him. But he made these shows. Let me tell you something. The stuff that he had to go through to make these shows happen in Tampa, even helping out with the New York Pro, the Chicago Pro. I mean, and he really was heartbroken when the Puerto Rico couldn't happen. He tried everything. Even when we had another date, I mean, this guy worked blood, sweat, and tears. I don't think he ever gets sleep. And when I see him, I say, Tim, you need to get some sleep, bro. He laughed.
Yeah, I love Tim.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Tim and some of these other promoters that's making this stuff happen, I started dieting in February. And I've been going ever since until the Chicago. It's 9 months of just consistent dieting. And let me tell you something, you're right, because with everything getting shut down, I rent space out of the gym. So I had a gym regardless.
Okay.
You know, I could just use the key, go in the back door and train. But we also had a secret gym over in another location because I couldn't bring my family to my gym because of liability issues. So I had to, you know, pay a membership to another gym so my wife and my brother-in-law could go over there. But God was good. I mean, he provided. We didn't have to go without a gym, and I was stay focused. And I just had a good surrounding of my work family with my wife and just all these supporters I have here at home. And even, you know, people like you and Ron, and you don't understand, like, the support I had this year compared to all the other years is what's given me that motivation, that drive, and that hunger to keep pushing, because I'm very blessed. I may not, you know, I may not be the richest man in the world, but you know what? I'm rich. Yeah. Either way, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to tell you guys, I appreciate you very much. I appreciate Ron and everybody that's supporting the Jamaican Tank. And next year, let me tell you something. I'm not letting any of you guys down. Be ready. Be focused, because we're coming.
Oh, I feel like that's everything we need to talk about now, because I feel like that's the really good way to end it, Phil. It really, really is, mate. Well, I'm really excited for next year, mate. And I can't wait to see what you and Dorian Hamilton are going to do together. And now you're part of Team HD. So, it's been really good to get you on, mate. It's been good to connect. And, you've really impressed me this year. Like I said, you turned out Tampa and I was like, oh, who is this guy? We've got to get hold of this guy, you know? So, keep going, keep pushing, keep working hard. And And yeah, really excited to see what you'll bring on stage in 2021, mate.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys, man. God bless you.
Yeah.
And take care.
All right. Hopefully see you in Las Vegas as well in December, maybe.
Listen, all things are possible. I just tell everybody, it's in my song that I played, my routine song I played. Yeah. Everybody better know they're on notice. You better see me coming.
Love it. Love it. All right, then, mate.
All right,
well,
brother.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. I'll speak to you very, very soon. Thank you.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we are joined by European Pro Fitness champ, Minna Pajulahti. Yay!
Hi.
Minna.
Thank you for inviting me.
Minna. Right. You're a bit of an old school kind of follower and guest on Global. You've been with us right from the start. We wanted to get you on again because you won the Alicante Pro in fitness. So how do you feel? Congratulations as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Of course, it was an amazing feeling to win it. I had a vision that I maybe could do it, but you never know before the competition is over. And I competed in Alicante in 2001 for 2001.
Yeah.
It was Worlds, and I placed second. And now when I heard that Emilio is organizing IFBB Pro League contest there, and there is going to be pro fitness, that was my goal for the year, because I couldn't compete in Arnold, Australia, because the corona happened. So that was my goal for this year. And I even made it like a return to Alicante.
Yeah.
And, last time I placed second, and now I try to do my best, and hopefully I bring the gold medal with me.
So let me get this straight. You competed in Alicante 19 years ago. And then you've just placed first in the pro fitness in Alicante. So obviously there's a very, very special place in your heart for Alicante.
Yes, it definitely is, and it was. So when I was prepping for this show, I have to say that every morning when I was doing my cardio, I went through all the years that I have trained and competed. And 2001, when I competed there, after that, I had the goal for the first time that one day my goal is to be IFBB Pro Fitness competitor. And one day I'm going to stand in the Olympia stage. So okay, last year I was in Olympia.
Yeah.
That was my first time there. And now I'm going there second time. So, of course, it's something. And when you think about the years back, it's great feeling.
So when you did Alicante in 2001, was that in fitness?
Yes, it was in fitness.
Wow. Yeah. So you've been doing fitness nearly 2 decades as an amateur and as an IFBB professional.
Yes, I did women's physique in IFBB Pro League for a few years, actually maybe 1 or 2 years, because I had some injuries and I couldn't compete in fitness. So I had a break from fitness like 7 years.
7, okay. Yeah. So for the sake, I mean, we've had you on Global before, but for the sake of people that might not be aware of you, hugely aware of you, you've competed in lots of different things, haven't you? Can you just tell us a few?
Yes, I competed in cheerleading. I'm a European champion and second in the world.
Okay.
Second, like always the second, but well. And then I competed in powerlifting, where I'm world champion, and I have many world records in bench and squat and deadlift. So yes, those are what I have been doing.
What's your best lift? Bench, squat, or deadlift? Come on, tell us.
Bench press 125 kilos raw.
Wow. Okay, that's more than Carlene can bench.
Kilo category, and deadlift is 205.5 kilos.
So that's 4.5 plates she's deadlifting. Wow. And of course you were on the gladiators as well.
Yes. I'm a Finnish gladiator named Barbie. So And what I do there, I mostly do wrestling, of course, because I have muscle and they want to see me in a wrestling arena. At first, I was like, okay, let's see, but it was really fun.
Wow. So I'm guessing they called you Barbie because of the blonde hair.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, because last year I know you got to the Olympia on points, didn't you? The Olympia last year.
Yeah, I won the Kai Green Pro Show in Italy.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I went with that, but I was already in good standings with points. Mm-hmm. So I was aiming with the points, but then I won the Italy Pro Show, and then I got the place.
Yeah. So it seemed like last year it seemed like you did every single pro show, because every pro show your name was on the list. How many times did you go back and forth to America now? How many shows did you do in how many countries? Tell us.
I don't even remember. I maybe did like 6-7 shows, maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was so determined that now I'm going there. I'm going to collect those points or whatever. I'm going to go wherever I need to go and be, when there is a competition, my name is there, like you said.
The thing is, you're not just like, if it was America and you were doing 6 American shows, you'd be like, okay, that's fair enough. But you were coming from Finland. You were going Finland to America, back to Finland, back to America. Did you tell us what shows did you do in America? Because you did quite a few, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I don't even remember. I did Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I did Chicago. Then, of course, the Italy show. Then where was it even? I don't even remember the places, but I did quite many shows, quite many Tim Gardner shows, and yes. Yeah. But it was a great year. It was all the competitions and meeting the people from the industry. It was really worth it. Yeah.
Okay. I watched the live stream for the Alicante show, and obviously I saw your routines a few times last year. I saw your physique. This year you seem to make a huge jump up improvements in both those areas, in both your physique. Obviously there's 2 rounds, a physique round and the fitness round. What brought those improvements about? Because you were so much better in both those areas this year.
Well, after the last Olympia, we sat down. Alina is still, by the way, Alina Popa is coaching me.
Oh, Alina.
Yes.
Okay.
She coached me already in the last Olympia, and we are continuing our work. We made some plans what I need to develop in my physique, and obviously that I don't need any more size, but I need to make my symmetry and shape better.
Yeah.
And after the Olympia, I have really done certain things to get better physique for the fitness category. And I think the same, that this was probably my best package ever. I was really happy to see that you can still improve, that you can still change your body so much, and also your routine. Yes, I had a vision about my routine and theme, and it has been few years already that I wanted to do this theme, and now it was the right time to do that.
I feel like you really, like I said, I felt like you took a real step up, because the routine was so much. I mean, your routines were great last year, but there's kind of 2 tiers in the fitness. There's the top 5 Olympia girls where they're just wow, and then you got the next level of pros that are good. But I felt like the one at the Alicante, which I watched on the live stream, it really, really, I was like, wow. I said, Minna's really stepped her game up. So are you going to be doing that same routine for the Olympia, or are you going to do something different?
I'm going to do mainly the same routine.
Nice.
I'm just doing some improvements to that, because last year I was having a totally different routine. It was more, how do you say it? Well, I was the Frozen Elsa.
Yeah.
It was totally different. So I'm going to keep the same main routine, and hopefully I can do it a little bit better. And no mistakes at all, and yes, so the same is going to be there.
So you say you had a vision for the routine that you did at the Alicante. Where did the inspiration come from for that?
Well, I remember 2010 when I competed in Arnold USA, and I was still then in amateur league. I had won the Finnish nationals, but they said that if I'm in the top 3 in Arnold USA, they might apply the card for me. And I also had the world's second place and things like that. And when I was prepping to that show, I listened maybe the whole 6 months or so, this Terminator soundtrack.
Okay.
And so it has been almost every prep when I have prepped for a show, it's there. So it's with the journey, the Terminator idea, and of course Arnold, he's a great inspiration for all of us, I think.
Of course.
Yes. So is there any better thing?
No, it was a great routine. Now I'm guessing with the connection between yourself and Alina, and the fact that you're a European, am I guessing right that you'll be doing Romania?
Well, there isn't pro fitness.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, but let's see. I just messaged Alina about my ideas, but let's see what she says. But yes, it would be great to do Romania. It has a great venue. It's easy to travel from Finland at the moment also, and so I would really love to do that. It's a shame that they don't have pro fitness, but I understand that the stage has it's so big.
That's right, because I remember speaking to Alina last year, and she said the only category they don't have, because Tim Gardner shows have every single pro category, and then Alina said on Global Muscle last year, she said, the reason we don't do it, the one pro fitness in Romania, you reminded me now, is because the stage is too small, because you need to do your run-ups and your jumps, and it's not suitable for fitness routines.
Yes, and then there is no fitness. But it was great that we had one show in Europe too.
Yes, okay. So, so how did it feel when you won the Alicante? Because that was a really good lineup.
It was. I think that all the girls were in top shape. There was really good physiques, all the girls. So I think it was really, really good lineup. Really good girls from UK, Spain, also Canada, and USA. So I think it was a good lineup, and we had a great spirit together, and it was super team there.
Yeah. What did you think about the British girl Kamara? Because I'd never seen her before, I heard of her before. What did you think of her? Because she was second place, wasn't she?
She was the fourth, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because second place was the Spanish girl, and third was the Canadian.
Okay.
Terra. So Kamara was, fourth, and I think she had really good physique, like really good structure.
Yeah.
And she could to work with her routine, but she could also do like figure, because her structure was so good. Yes,
I saw her in the physique round. I thought, she's got a good kind of like a figure shape, wide shoulders, small waist, kind of an X frame. So please be quiet, dog. So, okay, we've got the Olympia in 6-7 weeks now. Now, there's no discussion really. This is the biggest fitness Olympia there's ever been. You've got the return of Adela Garcia. What is it, 7-time winner? She's 7-time winner? 7 or 8. She was winning it every year. You've got Oksana Grashina coming back, the 4-time winner. You've got the 2-time winner, Whitney Jones. You've got last year's runner-up and Arnold Classic champion, Missy Truscott. We've got Darina Wilson. We've got Ariel Kadar. You've got, I feel like I've missed somebody out. Who have I missed? Apart from yourself. I'm going somewhere with this. Who have I missed? Basically, you've got the best lineup ever in the Fitness Olympia. How do you feel about that? You excited?
I'm excited. Of course, it's great to be there on that Olympia stage with all the legends. Yes. Great to be able to stand there and see how you do with them, and it's really motivating to get ready for that kind of show. Yeah,
I think if you there's a potential if you could be taking out some of these big names if you turn up and you bring your best, and how would that feel to beat because there's several Olympia champions. Imagine if you beat one or two of those Olympia champions. That would be a great feeling, surely.
Yes, I just have to get my mental game in the right direction, because I know that's if you have a good vision and you believe in yourself, and if you can believe, then you can like change it in the actions and it comes reality. I believe in so. And if I can get the mentality and I do my work and do my best, and then they will say what's my placing. But I think the same, that if I can bring my best ever package there, I can be, well, they will tell me what I can be. But
honestly, Minna,
yes,
whatever you've done with your mental attitude and everything, whatever you've done in the last year, it's certainly worked. Because, like I said, I saw you do all those shows last year. I was watching your progress. I was watching how you were doing, how you were placing. And then I saw your physique and your routine, and obviously we did the big win in Alicante because that was a big show. I thought it was great to see, really, really kind of stepping up. I mean, you've been doing this 2 decades, nearly 20 years you've been competing. That's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can't even fathom that,
Yes, well, this has been a passion of mine, and it still is. And how great it is, like I already said, to improve still, like my physique and my routine. And now the step on the Olympia stage with all the best athletes in pro fitness. So what could be any like more motivating thing to do? Cardio.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you're doing all those hours of cardio. Because thing is that obviously people do realize that the fitness class, you have to be in condition. You have to be doing like extensive, detailed, intricate routines. It's like a lot of people, say that, the fitness is actually the hardest class of all the female classes.
Well, of course, all the classes have their own like challenges. But yes, in the fitness class, because you have to be in your top shape and you have to be able still to do the routine and all the acrobatics and flexibility moves, jumps and everything. So you are not just going to go there and pose, but you have to be like really powerful. You have to have the energy and everything. And of course there is always, because you go in a really lean shape, there is the risk that you can injure yourself or things like that. Like in the last Olympia, one girl, Jodie Bohm, left out because she had an injury.
That's right, yeah. I mean, didn't Whitney Jones, was it Achilles or a knee? No, it was a knee. It was a knee, ACL, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was ACL, yeah.
Yeah, so she did like a one-legged routine where she was jumping onto the one leg instead of, it was like she completely improvised and ended up winning the Arnold and the Olympia.
Yes, incredible. Yes. So fitness girls are amazing, and we can do amazing things.
You're not amazing. You're actual badasses.
Okay.
Yeah, I think credit where credit's due. Okay, man, are you excited for the new venue, Planet Hollywood?
I am. Yes, I haven't actually been in Planet Hollywood ever. I have been in Las Vegas many times. I have been watching Olympia quite many times before I competed there myself. I've already Googled the venue where we are going to do our routines, and it looks like the theater Sabo.
Yeah, Zappos Theatre. I mean, you've had Lady Gaga, you've had Beyonce, you've had Shania Twain, and now we've got Minna from Finland.
Yes.
Doing a Terminator routine. Oh, fantastic. Yes. Fantastic. So, what about the male side? Who's winning the Mr. Olympia this year? Come on.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
So then I will say this is like totally like what is called black card or something like that. But Big Ramy.
Big Ramy. So you think Big Ramy with his special invite is going to win the Mr. Olympia 2020? Okay. Well, I mean, he was second in...
You answer something else than everybody else is answering, probably.
Yeah. I'll be honest, that's the first time I've heard that one. But this is a guy that was second in 2017. He was third at the Arnold Classic this year. He's won shows, So, I mean, at the end of the day, people always say that if this guy ever really gets his condition together, he could win the Olympia. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, that's an interesting take on it. Yeah, I could. Yeah, okay.
And I also liked last year when I was watching the Mr. Olympia, I think Hadi was really good.
Yes.
He was my favorite. So he is also one of the top ones that I would pick.
So the Middle Eastern guys are going to be taking 1 and 2 at the Olympia this year then. Big Ramy and Hadi. Oh my God, those fans will go absolutely crazy if they go 1 and 2. Yeah, I remember speaking to one of his friends or fans outside the Olympia last year, Hadi, and I tell you what, I've never seen such passion coming from someone that disagreed with someone placing third. He was going crazy. Like, you honestly, you thought you'd have just, it was like a real tragedy. He was so upset that Hadi got third and deserved better. I mean, the passion behind from those fans for Hadi and Rami, it's just crazy. It's wonderful to see. To see that real. They get, they're so loved in their countries. Kamal as well. There's a lot of, the Middle Eastern guys. They've got a lot of support and a lot of passion behind, the fans. It's great.
They do, and of course, Phil Heath. It's great to see him back on stage as well, and it's really hard to beat him. So let's see what is going to happen. Yeah.
What about the current? What about the current Mr. Olympia then, Brandon Curry? What? So you've got him in fourth. You've got him in fourth at the moment then.
Yes, if I already mentioned those names, so maybe yes.
Well,
but we're going to see that in a few weeks, aren't we?
Well, 6-7 weeks, we'll find out. It's a nice way to end the year as well. I think with everything that's gone on this year, to see to see the Olympia still going ahead. I mean, there was a time a couple of months ago when many people thought, is the Olympia still is it even going to happen?
Yes, me too. And now when I have started to find out how I can travel there, so now my plan is starting to be like tick. But first I was like, okay, let's see, are they going to still like organize it and things like that? But it's great that they are working to make this happen. So hopefully nothing happens.
Fingers crossed, Minna. Sorry, have you figured out your plan of how you're going to get there yet?
Yes. Well, now it's the case that if you live in a European country, you have to be in non-Schengen country for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Before USA. So it's probably Mexico. First I was thinking, okay, let's go to Belarus, but maybe I go to Mexico.
Okay. Well, looks like I'm coming to it looks like I'm coming to Mexico with you then, because I need to get there myself as well.
Okay, so cool, great.
Let's go to Mexico, drink sangria.
Let's go to Cabo.
Yeah. All right, then, Minna. Well, this has been great. I was so happy. I was so excited. I was watching it right here in the studio when I was watching the live stream, and I remember when it was down to the final three. And I remember you were just there with your eyes shut, and I think you started crying. And it was a real tense moment. But I was really happy for when you won, because it was like I said, you worked so hard and you did so many shows last year, and it's nice to see you kind of still pushing forward and still improving and taking the big wins. It's fantastic to see, Minna.
Yes, because I feel that I still haven't given my all. That I still have something that I can be better. So yes, it's great to be able to compete and now to compete in Olympia as well.
Yeah, that's a true champion's attitude, Minna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't want to see your trophy cabinet, because I bet it's about the size of a house.
Which one?
Your trophy cabinet. I can imagine it's just like I bet you've got like a storage unit.
It's there.
Very shiny. Right. Okay, then, Minna. I will see you in 6-7 weeks' time in Las Vegas at the Olympia, where we will see you on stage.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for inviting me to this show, and all the listeners. Thank you for your support, and maybe see you in Vegas or in Mexico before that.
Yeah. All right, then. We'll speak to you very, very soon.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minna.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Minna studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And for the first time we've spoken to him since March, Steve Kuclo. Yes!
All right, in the house. Let's do it.
Steve, thank you for joining us, mate. It's been end of. I looked on the. It was the end of March the last time you were on, and that was my first time interviewing by myself. So it's good to get you back on, mate.
From what I hear, it sounds like you upgraded a little bit and got. Looks like you got the studio back in order.
Yeah, I'm not going to brag, but we have made some. I can't wait for you to see the episode when it goes out, because it's been a continual progression, you know, obviously since lockdown, and we thought, right, okay, well, we'll bump up the production, and then anyway, we're not here to talk about us, so it's all about you, Steve.
Okay.
So, Steve, I'll be honest, the reason, one of the reasons I wanted to get you back on was because you're the first name that popped into my head when I heard that Ramy got the special invite.
Yes.
Because there's really 3 pros I think we all, as fans, wanted to see at the Olympia. It was yourself, who came 6th in the Olympia last year, Sergio Oliva, and Ramy. Now, Ramy's got the special invite. First of all, why didn't you do Chicago? Why are you not competing? What's going on?
Where can we start on that one? I guess maybe start on the special invite part, and then I'll go on to the competing part.
Okay.
So I didn't know about it. I started getting tagged in a bunch of stuff when I think the initial announcement was made about Ramy getting a special invite. Mm-hmm. People start saying, well, how come Sergio, how come Steve aren't invited as well? They got, top 5 at the top 6 at the Arnold, top 6 at the Olympia, all that kind of stuff. And, it definitely made me wonder the same thing. I'm not going to lie. Like, well, we're just going to say one guy gets special invite, but, I could see, Ramy was lined up to do a show, tested positive for COVID, you could say that he had a chance to potentially get qualified and then didn't. For me this year, it seems like since the whole shutdown, the quarantines, everything getting really pushed back to 2021 in a lot of different arenas, it just seemed like there's a lot of uncertainty for shows this year. A lot of shows, even overseas, end up being canceled, being so clear, just a couple weeks out, and a lot of guys really disappointed that they couldn't get on stage. There's been so many hurdles this year. It just felt like to put myself through the stress of a prep and feeling like a show is going to be canceled. I just couldn't wrap my mind around that all the way. I knew I had points, and I was kind of just seeing how that all laid out. And I was fighting a few little nagging, kind of injuries or just pains, shoulders kind of hurting a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this time to get my body right. Get my mind right, focus on getting all the businesses in line. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things going on in this world, especially with election year. We all know that. So it just seems like let 2020 kind of play out however it's going to play out, and let's get 2021 rolling. And that's why I decided I'm going to put all my eggs into the Arnold 2021 basket, and then let's go win that, and then go to Olympia from there.
Because, you've been moving up at the Arnold Classic every year. You you went from 5th to 4th, and then, top 6 at Olympia. I'll be honest, I was expecting to see you as a last-minute entry for the Chicago.
I always stay fairly close, and it's one of the things I probably could have prepped in 6 weeks and really been to where I needed to be. Yeah. But there was so much going on this year in things of the world. That for me, in order to say I'm going to be 100% into a show, I think that's the only way I'm going to do a show. And I just wasn't mentally all there to say, I want to, let's go, and just in the fear of, okay, I'm going to do another show. Say just the worst case, Olympia gets canceled. And then it's like, I just prepped again for no reason. So I want to go into a show, know that nothing's going to be canceled. Everything's going to be normal, and we're ready to go. Like, no more of this cancel shit, cancel culture, cancel whatever. I'm done with it.
I think what it is with the top guys like yourself, the top 6 Olympia guys, I think it's almost like there's a fan expectation that you have to do the Arnold, you have to do the Olympia no matter what. Did you get that feeling or?
Yeah, it was kind of, I'm going to say a little bit discouraging or kind of strange. A lot of people were commenting like, hey, you're going to do a show this year. I was like, if you take out the amnesia from earlier this year, everybody, like I just did the Arnold in March, 6 months ago. Like there was shows at the beginning of this year, but obviously majority of them got canceled. So it's like, people are quick to forget what happened early on in the year. There was no reason that I did not want to do it ultimately if everything was kind of on schedule to be normal and guaranteed to go on. So for me, it's just like, you know what, ride 2020 out. Let this year get over. I think everybody could be probably on board about hitting fast forward and saying, let's make 2021 the year that we all kind of go in and feel like a normal year.
Do you not fancy doing a 2-week prep and doing Romania, qualify for next year's Olympia?
Right? Golly.
Come on, you're looking lean there, mate. Looking lean.
there's so many things that just variables and you know, I hear things like potentially maybe no audience at the Olympia, you know, abbreviated expo, no expo. There's so many things you hear that it's just going to be really kind of an asterisk year to me. Like some of the things, it's just not that normal energy so close to Christmas. Is people going to come out? I just 2021 is going to be the focus. Let this year ride out.
Fair enough. I mean, it's obviously a culmination of factors for you. I mean, some people manage to, you know, they manage to find ways to train and they, you know, they really want to carry on through their competing. But like you said, I mean, bodybuilding fans really have, they scientifically actually proven to have very short memories. So it's actually been proven. Right? Like, I mean, they literally sometimes forget, you know, from one show to the next, you know, that I think they expect you to almost do every single show.
As that show's done, they forget. It seems like as soon as that show's done, they're like, all right, on to the next. Who won that last one? I don't even remember. So they're, yeah.
Plus the thing with the last 2 years, you've really, like, you continually brought it. I think it was like I've said before, it was that 2018 Arnold when I was like, finally, he's really started to nail that top to toe, side to side, front to back conditioning, you know, and you've systematically nailed it every single time. And you've moved up. You've gone from 5th to 4th at the Arnold. You've gone from, 9th to 6th at the Olympia, you know, and you're really, I mean, really, apart from, I'll be honest, I'll say it now, the last year's Olympia, I think it was only you, Akeem, and Patrick Moore that really improved at the Olympia last year in terms of your physique. Everybody else was kind of not at their best, you know?
Yeah, I would agree. You know, last year I felt at the Olympia like, hey, this is the first time I really felt in my heart and in my mind. I was like, man, you know what? I belong. I feel like I'm obviously anybody competing wants to go to win, but there is that mindset or kind of that feeling you have to have at the Olympia that I realized last year that I had to have, and it was, man, I belong in that top 5. I feel like I can be there. And then with that mindset, that confidence translated on stage where I was like, okay, let's do this. I didn't go in like, oh, I'm just another guy doing the show and I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm kind of over that shit the last 5 years I've done it. Nice. I was like, you know what? No, I am coming to make an impact and make my, you know, I'm going to kick that door in. Like I said, when Brandon said he's going to shut the door. So, you know what? Like this year, obviously asterisk year, crazy year, things happen. Let's just focus next year and we're going to do it.
Yeah, good. So at what point were you definitely decided that you weren't competing? Was it, I'm getting the feeling it was fairly recently.
I was just kind of waiting to see how things played out. And I really think, you know, when the Olympia announcement came, well, first, I think the big announcement was that the Rock show was canceled. The Athleticon, that they said, we're just going to push that to 2021.
Yeah.
So then I know the Olympia was kind of trying to figure things out from there. And everybody was hopes that still things by August, September were going to be normal.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it wasn't. And then when that canceled or got pushed back, it just seemed like a lot of other shows were falling in line that were getting canceled. Like my plans this year was to do the Arnold, do the Arnold Australia, and or do the New York Pro. Those were my 3 I was going to do, and then from there go into Olympia in a perfect year. That obviously changed. Shows that kept getting pushed back. The New York went from, you know, May, and then I think it was like in June or July, and then it got pushed to August, and just kept getting pushed back. So that was creating a stress in my head, and just the thought of, hey, I'm got to get on the bandwagon of another prep. Shows keep getting canceled. Am I going to just chase a show in hopes that it happens and it doesn't get canceled? Too many factors were going on. And then that way, you know, at that point, I think it was probably August, September. I was like, you know what, let's just, I'm not even going to focus on this year. Let's just go to next year. We had 3 of our shows, the Kuclo Classic shows we ended up putting on, you know, that I really put a lot of time and effort into this year. And obviously the challenges of promoting shows, I get it. Being a promoter myself. So I know the people that, especially putting on a pro show, the amount of money that goes into those are very stressful. So it was stressful putting on our shows. We put on great events and had some amazing competitors. And that's what I really wanted to focus on this year, was focus on time with family, getting business right, just kind of getting all my eggs in a row and ducks in a row kind of thing, and making sure that everything is good there as we can go into 2021.
I mean, the thing with you is you're not just a top-level bodybuilder that eats, sleeps, and trains, and that's all you do. And you've got you're supported or whatever. You've got sponsorships. You know, you and Amanda Latoni, your partner, you have multiple businesses. You run 3 shows a year. You know, so is that what you've been doing? Just prioritizing those just for now, and then just kind of ticking over with your training?
Yeah, as anybody knows that ever competed or been on stage or follow the sport heavily knows, like when like you said, when it's prep time, it's eat, breathe, sleep, training, nutrition, getting a diet, and that's really what you're consumed with. So something's going to suffer, relationships suffer, business suffers, a lot of things suffer during that time. I think that's why this year I just said, you know what, I'm going to kind of transition my focus into getting those things the time and attention it needs, because those have taken a hit in the past.
That's smart.
It just took some adult decisions had to be made, and I consult my team, being my wife, my family that really are always with me. The crew that goes with me, all the big shows.
I've never seen you turn up with anyone to shows. The Kuclo Army.
I had to really make some big boy decisions and say,
big boy.
Next year, it's not like this is my last year competing. Not like I'm, 45 and I got no time left. Like, hey, I'm 35. I feel good. I'm going to get my body right, healthy. I'm going to go into next year feeling really good.
Yeah. Well, most importantly, what does your mom think?
Mom's on board. Obviously, my dad's the kind of guy that's like, hey, why don't you compete? He would want me to do 50 shows a year. That's, I grew up playing hockey and football, and there was, a game every week, a game every other day. He loves the competition aspect. So it took him a little bit of time to understand of my decision. Mom understood a little bit easier. She's on board, as long as we can get the team together and the family and come in representing, that's what it takes.
Good, because you don't want your mum being upset. I've seen her upset. She's not a woman I would want to mess with or disappoint. Okay.
Exactly.
So the last time we spoke, you were struggling to kind of find access to the gyms. Has that all rectified itself? And how is training going generally for you?
Training's been going really good. I would say, in general, Texas is one of the better areas to have a little bit more normalcy to things. I know there's other states that there's gyms that are just kind of opening or have gotten re-shut down. So I never really had any issues with that. A good friend of mine, the gym I train at, Hidden Gym with Greg McCoy, we were able to still train through a lot of this because we have access at a limited capacity. We didn't kind of, he never opened, but we were able to train through it. And then now it feels like that things are kind of open, gym people are in there, and there's a good energy in general, I think, in the gyms that I've been to, that people are feeling, wanting to get back to normal life, wanting to get back to training on a regular schedule. It's always been, for 90% of the people that go to the gym, it's always an outlet for people to kind of have a stress relief, to have a outlet to blow off the steam, however you want to say it. So people are back, and I'm going to say 90% of people are back in gyms here. So for the most part, there's a good normal feeling to things, and my training's been really going good. I feel like my strength's gone up a little bit. I've been, I pushed. So for the last about month and a half, I said, but if I decide to do the last minute, I'm going to treat this as like a mini little off-season push, try to bring up my strength, bring up some size a little bit, and work on a few things, and I have. So lifts have been really good. But the next month and a half, I'm going to get some PRP and stem cell in my shoulders, get some stuff rehabbed as I go into the next year. So that's what I decided to use this time for. Our bodies take a toll through prep and training, and I've been lifting heavy since I was 18, and not that I'm beat up or anything, but we got to take care of I treat my body like a race car. We got to make sure the oil's changed, the tires are shined, and everything looks good.
Yeah, we've all seen your car, mate. We know you look after your car.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm sensing that you want to show off about some of these numbers you've been throwing around in the gym. So come on.
It's for me. It's I look back at some of my old numbers and I laugh. Like, man, I was really strong back then. And before
we all were, mate. We all were.
Instagram, post and everybody do a one set for Instagram. But I did. What are some things I've done recently? Some of the dumbbells at the gyms I go up to like 160. And, I've done like some sets of 20 on dumbbell presses with them. And so, the strength is really there. I've done some hack squats really heavy recently on the Arsenal hack squat. I've loaded it up with like nine or 10 plates and pretty much maxing a lot of the machines out and doing it, really not like 1 or 2 reps kind of thing, like putting a good set in at that weight. So I know my strength's going up. I feel like I've made some improvements to my back, which I've really focused on. Just really trying to fine tune the detail of my training, and that'll translate into my physique.
Yeah, I mean, what have you done in the last 2 years? Because you always had really good symmetry, really good thickness, good size, small waist. And like I said, 2 years ago, you just started getting all the detail right, because it looked like you lacked detail and muscle maturity, I think it was. Because, I mean, you were in the first Olympia was when you were 28? What was the age you were? It was under 30, wasn't it?
It was 28, you're right.
28 when you did your first Olympia, and it was like, oh my God, when this guy gets the detail and the kind of tie-ins. And then like 2 years ago, you did it, and you've done it every single time since, Yeah,
I'm more, I'm the kind of, for me, it's like the tortoise and the hare. It's not about getting to that finish line like as quick as you can. It's like I'll get there, and I've treated my career that way. I started when I was 18, turned pro at 25. I've been almost 10 years as a pro now, and it's been something that I've just done, just letting time and consistency play its course for me, and it's worked. And my body stayed healthy. I haven't tried to push too fast. So those things have played in my favor, I think. And now, my muscle maturity is coming in, like you said, that grainy look, the top to bottom condition, it's all coming to play. Obviously, putting the pieces together with having a great team behind me. My trainer, Gina Davis, does a great job with my training and nutrition. So those things all combined is really starting to work.
Yeah, you've said it there. You're always someone. I mean, you're a big guy. You're tall. You're heavy on stage. You're big. But you said healthy, and I've always thought I've never seen you blown up with a big D-ball head, football head. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. But you always look. You look healthy now. You look good. You look agile. You don't look like you're out of breath. You see some of these guys like, you just think, oh my God, they look like they're dying.
I know. I think you could see some of my stuff I've done in the recent, and I've enjoyed. I did in this quarantine a lot was, since quarantine was a lot of like the HIIT cardio, the more cross training type stuff. Where I'll do the skier and push a sled and do the high intensity cardio stuff, and it kind of brings me back to my athlete days, and I really enjoy it because it gets cardio done a lot quicker. In 15 minutes, I can get done with somebody who walks at a snail's pace on a treadmill in an hour. So I'd rather get 15 minutes of hard, but I also enjoy pushing myself, and that kind of is something like that's in me, and I think that's just translated through life in general.
Steve Kuclo, cross training. Can we edit that out, please?
Not CrossFit. Don't confuse CrossFit with.
Oh,
with
sorry.
CrossFit.
I thought. I nearly cried then.
Yeah, that's right. No, we're. Overall, I think it's fun to me, and like you said, I always treat my body and I am my own brand at the end of the day. I'm Steve Kuclo, so I have to be a walking representation of what I am. I can't be out of shape slot bucket walking around expecting to get paid well and look like a pro bodybuilder. So my thing is I always want to look like a pro bodybuilder.
Well, you do.
There's guys that do that and look like that. You see him like somebody like Cedric. You see him year round. I mean, he looks fantastic. He's big. He's in shape. He can guest pose at any time. And to me, that was something that I looked at. Jay Cutler did the same thing. He always looked like he could step on stage, within a few weeks. Yep. Always looked great. Can guest pose at any time. And I just carried that through my career. And it was an important part to be a representation of not only the IFBB as a pro bodybuilder, but Steve Kuclo,
Yeah. Well, I remember when Flex Lewis first moved to America, and he said he always stayed in good shape because he was trying to make a name for himself. So he always wanted to be available for photo shoots if somebody cancelled, and he always wanted to be available for things like guest posing appearances, and and that attracts companies, that attracts sponsors, and it creates opportunity.
Absolutely.
And creates and kind of builds your brand, a lot quicker than just being in shape for those one day a year or something, and then looking like crap the rest of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what did you weigh at the Arnold Classic?
I was about 282 on stage. That was on stage.
Wow.
It's kind of the way the last 3 years have gone. I've literally started my prep around 280 to 285 and gone on stage at that weight. And I like that a lot better. It's not a big stress on the body as far as I'm trying to drop, 30, 40 pounds. Yeah. And then there's just that kind of roller coaster of up and down weight. So it's always felt a lot healthier. Number one, it's a lot, I'm going to say a little bit easier to just overall to not feel like I have to drop all this weight and I got to focus on losing 2 or 3 pounds a week to get in shape. So it's kind of been a recomp for me every prep where I just more or less boost my training increases, my nutrition. I eat more when I diet. So my body's just processing nutrients a lot better, and I'm really just putting on muscle as I train, and I'm just getting harder and fuller through the prep, which it just, to me, I like doing that way much better. Kind of the old Kevin LeBron way.
Yeah, honestly, when I was competing, that's exactly what I did. My body weight would pretty much do that. It would pretty much stay consistent. Your composition of your body just changes, and because you can actually gain muscle and lose body fat at the same time. It's just a matter of your body composition just changing over a period of like 12 weeks.
Sure, absolutely, and that to me is the better way to do it. Way I would definitely recommend a lot of the younger guys out there wanting to get into it. You're gonna have to spend some time building your base and maybe having a little bit of extra weight, but it's not about having 60, 70 pounds extra and being, like you said, a big fluff ball, and it's you're having a hard time breathing. That's just not that doesn't translate into good necessarily. So more is not always better. So it's finding the sweet spot.
Okay then, Steve, now that you're definitely not doing the Olympia and you're not going to be jumping in at the last minute or applying for a special invite like Big Ramy did, I feel like because we're 6-7 weeks out for the Olympia now, I think you can really comment now on your competition, because you're going to be sat in that front row, hopefully, watching it. And so how do you think it's going to go down? Tell us.
Oh gosh, that's an on the spot question. So obviously you have the reigning Mr. Olympia, Brandon, and Phil. Do you think Phil's going to compete? Let me just ask you that.
Do I think Phil's going to compete?
Yeah.
Oh, he's competing.
Okay. All right. So in the event he doesn't pull a Kai Green back out last week or two and say, I'm not going to do it.
Crying in the parking lot.
Yeah. So let's just say everything goes on as normal. But,
okay.
I think the battle is truly between those two. And if I'm to be honest, I think Brandon has the edge, being one, the reigning Mr. Olympia, and two, not taking that time off. And I know he's really focused in being overseas and training. To me, I'm gonna pick Brandon between those two.
Okay.
Phil's obviously a contender. Not to throw out any other guys that would be a contender, like Bonac or Rowley or Big Ramy. I mean, there's a lot of factors in there. Again, this year, there's factors like traveling and getting over here with the restrictions. I know they're having ways that they have to go quarantine in some different areas and do different things to get over. So knowing that, that's going to be more stresses on the body, could affect the way they look, and. So to me, a top three is really going to be your Bonac, Heath, and Curry, in my opinion, because they're kind of the front runners going in. So from there, I'm gonna pick Brandon. I think the reigning champ could carry another year.
Any wild cards going in? Like anyone you could think that could really surprise and shock? I had someone else in this episode say that they think Ramy's going to win.
They said Ramy's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, Ramy's best look was New York Pro. And what was that? That was his best look. If Ramy carried that through the last 5 or 6 years, I think he would have been a real threat. He's fought, I think, fighting condition and size. And when you're that big, it's not easy to get dialed down and get in because your body wants to hold so much mass and you have to feed it so much, yet you're trying to suck it down at the same time.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And I understand that as a big guy, because you have to eat and I know the mentality, you want to pull back and be like, man, I gotta come down and get as hard as I can. But at the same time, you're going to lose your fullness, and then it's a different look, and it's not a good look. You got to be full. So to me, there's a lot. The internet has skewed bodybuilding a lot too, because Photoshop has effed things up.
I know.
Somebody posted a picture about Ramy's waist. I saw, like, it popped up on my feed or something, and it was his waist looked like the size, of like a physique guy's waist, and then he's got like these huge. and not no, but I know that's not the case. But people kind of run with it. They're like, man, Rami's waist is super small now. Look how, and I'm like, oh, like don't believe everything you're seeing on the internet. You know,
I always say to people, look, if you're gonna post progress pictures, try and make yourself look as bad as possible, because then because when you get on stage, it's gonna be like, oh shit, he looks really good, because all these funny angles, and you can't, on these filters, you can't take that on stage. So you're better off. There's a British bodybuilder called Jamie the Giant, and I saw all his progress pictures in the run-up. He says, he's 6'5", he's nearly 300 pounds on stage, and he's saying, I'm nearly 25 pounds heavy this. And I looked at all the progress pictures, and I was like, I just don't think he's gained a pound. And then when he got on stage, I was like, holy shit. And then I made the stage comparison from when he last competed in 2018. He looked really, really good.
Right. And you know what? It's kind of funny, and I'm not discrediting myself at all, but a lot of times when people see progress pictures, they see a picture of me like, oh, he doesn't look that ready, or he doesn't look like he did anything. And then it's saying, like, to your point, I feel like when people see me on stage or next to guys as a comparison, it really shows. And that's where I feel like I've shined. So I know, I mean, this year's going to be a good year as far as it's going to be real close in the competition. It's because, to me, those three physiques are real close: Phil, Heath, Bonac, and Curry. If you look at those three being the last top three, there's not a lot that differentiates those three physiques. They're all pretty relatively short, and they're in that kind of 5'8" to 5'10" range. Yeah, you know, and that may be giving them a little bit of love as far as height. All probably within the same weight range too, within probably the 245 to 260 range. So it's really going to be who could eliminate a lot of the stress factors and really focus in on what they have to do. If I was to say who might have the edge in that, it might be Phil Heath. He's not a far flight or travel from Vegas, and he's got all that kind of in line. But we'll see how this plans. I think it'll be a good Olympia. Do I think it's going to be one for the record books? No, but I think 2021 is going to be one for the record books. I
wonder why. And the Arnold Classic. Yeah.
And the Arnold Classic.
Yeah. So, what was your feelings on when you heard? I mean, have you spoke to Flex Lewis? Because I know you two are friends, aren't you?
Yeah, we're friends. I haven't heard anything. I know when you make an announcement like that, a lot of people kind of reach out and want to know what's going on. I let the dust settle with that. I know he made the decision. I'm not exactly sure why, but I hope he's well. And this year threw a lot of challenges for everybody. So I understand the call to say, hey, you know what? If I can't be 100% or something's going on, even like Fuad's point where he had to pull out of his last show and he really didn't want to. And I know that competitor where you really you've put so much time into it and effort and energy and you just get something that kind of sideswipes you and you don't expect it. That sucks. And my heart goes out to those guys, and I hope they're well and just focus on what they need to focus on and getting right.
Yeah. I mean, I messaged Flex and I said, look, Flex, I don't even want to know. I'm not even messaging you to find out what, as a media guy. I just want to see if you're okay. Are you okay? How are you feeling? And that's all I said. I don't want to know anything else. And, just because I thought, because you could see when he did that announcement video, he was really upset. And it was because I know what all you athletes, that competitive spirit, I knew that it would really hurt him, to think, oh, I'm so close. And there was so much expectation. And, and you guys have big fan bases. So they're going to be really disappointed or whatever when you're pulling out of a show at the last minute, when they're all excited or maybe bought tickets or, they're just, it's just, like I said, it's that excitement and that build up to announce that, it really hurts them as people,
Sure, absolutely. No, I get that totally. I mean, I've never really had to make an announcement where I pulled out of a show, so I can't say I know how exactly that feels, but I know how much goes into it, so I understand being so close and then having to pull out. So I just, again, I hope they're well and nothing major or impacting them,
Yeah, good. Well, how's things with yours and Amanda's businesses? And I know you said the 3 shows have gone ahead. What else have you up to? Because I know you got your clothing range and the shops in the mall and stuff. Tell us.
Yeah. Again, more hurdles this year. We haven't officially reopened our store in the mall, but we're still. We've kind of condensed things with that business a bit. We've minimized our team, and just making it work for right now. That's why we're kind of looking at transitioning some things into next year of how we're going to do it. we're definitely putting a lot of focus into the shows, wanting to grow them and really, and they're doing really well, which I'm excited about. Just the amount of time and effort is starting to pay off, which I'm excited. When you put so much time and effort into something and get good results, that's the beautiful part of business. Obviously the stresses that come with it, people don't really think about a lot of times, but that's going well. And then obviously the competing side is something that we're just going to kind of turn into next year and put the gas into that. So I think overall things are going well. I can't complain. We're healthy. We got a roof over our head. I at this time that we're in, I think everybody in the U.S. is ready to get past this election. I think a lot of people businesses in general are not going too extreme or over aggressive during this time. They're kind of waiting to see what happens. So that's what I'm doing, and just being conservative with things until 2021. Then when we can kind of see how the landscape goes, it's full. We're going to put the pedal to the metal.
Good. So what's this election? I don't really watch the news. What's this next week in America? All I hear is COVID and Brexit. Too. That's all I know about in the UK.
Yeah, where's everybody going?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't actually. I watch one program and I leave it on pause, it's like a debate program. But I haven't watched the TV since probably March. Really, I just leave it off, or I go on Netflix, or
there's really not a lot of good stuff that's on the news. It seems like it's so much negative, and when Trump here mentions a lot of the fake news, there's so much that have been twisted, and if you get sucked into it, it will. I think a lot of people have really drank the Kool-Aid of the news in the recent and believe everything it says, and it's a shame because it's. I think it's made people so scared of life in general they don't want to leave their house. So I think we all need to get back to some normalcy in life, and just I think that'll help reduce some stresses that we're all facing.
It's a shame really that the election fell on like the COVID year really, because it's been a very intense, the BLM movement, all that kind of stuff, all the riots, it's been such an intense year. I think no one would have complained if they'd have postponed the elections to next year, say, guys, look, I think we've dealt with enough this year,
Yeah, it makes you think, was some of this planned to kind of, influence the election a little bit or push some things one way or another? Or, I know the news does a good job at pouring gas on the fire. That's for sure. They definitely know how to get people riled up.
Yeah.
And, I like you said, I think come November 4th here in the United States, a lot of stuff's going to start simmering down as far as the news and the way they're portraying things. I think it might be a little ugly on the streets. You might see some more rioting and stuff like that. But overall, I think the people here in the States are ready to just say, enough, let's move on.
Okay, well, back to bodybuilding. Are you going to be at the Olympia, I'm hoping? Just being there,
That's the plan,
Steve?
Yeah, that's the plan. If they say nobody's going to be able to be in, there's no expo, whatever it is, then I'm not going to make a trip out there to watch it on TV. But, my plan would be there. I haven't, Almax hasn't confirmed if they're going to have anything out there yet. So I'm kind of waiting to hear from them. So, it's just kind of a wait and see over the next couple of weeks of what really happens as far as if we're going to be out there. But I do believe that would be the plan, yeah.
Good. And your other half, Amanda Latona, she emceeing the Arnold again, I hope?
She was actually recently asked. Mr. Lormer reached out to her and said, hey, we got the Arnold next year. And she's very excited. I think that's something that she's kind of not only just a perfect fit for what they're doing, but I think she just loves that part of it and loves being a voice for the female side. And I think, her time and on stage and her presence and her energy on stage as an MC, I think there might not be a better one out there. I think we need to kick Shawn Ray out and let her.
Oh yeah. Oh well. I stand by what I say. She should have won the 2010 Olympia.
2010 Olympia should have been hers. I'm with you.
2010, I was there. Lee Haney was sat behind me because I disagree with Jay Cutler winning as well. But we won't talk about that. I had Amanda winning that one, and I remember being very, very shocked, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I think you two are proper couple goals, really. I think there's a lot of fitness couples out there, but you two are the real deal. And you've just been a continual, you're really good, a great addition to the industry. And I think you're very much valued, with all that you do, with all your shows and your competing and the message you send out and the things that you do, the MC and everything all in one. I think you make a very, very valuable contribution to the industry, and we appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate you as well, Giles, and what you do and getting the word out there and being a good voice for the sport. But, I always, to me, one of my idols in the sport since the beginning was Jay Cutler and the way he portrayed and was a good ambassador for the sport. And, to me, no matter how many magazine covers I've been on or how many articles or championships I won or titles, whatever it is, it doesn't change who you are as a person. So, I mean, if you let it, it's gonna not be for the better. So, for me, it's always just treating everybody the way I'd want to be treated. And that's really the way, I've portrayed my career.
Drop the mic.
We're done.
Steve, this has been absolutely brilliant, mate, and I'm so glad because, like I said, we got you on. It was right at the start of all this, this crazy pandemic when it all really hit, and it's nice to catch up with you guys and see how you've been getting on, and look forward to seeing you and your crew at the Olympia. Hopefully, if I can even get out there. I heard Romania's not even going to have audience.
I know, and that's crazy. I mean, we experienced that at the Arnold for prejudging this year. Of course, people forgot the Arnold happened again, but at prejudging at the Arnold, we didn't have an audience other than the judges, media, and a little bit of the family that was able to get in, and that was just a very weird experience. As a bodybuilder getting on stage, you get energy from the audience. There is, because one, you're depleted, you feel like crap. You got that competitive spirit, like I'm going to go, pose down. But when you hear people cheering your name or your number and I hear my wife's voice in the audience go nuts, like I'm ready it doesn't matter how depleted and shitty I feel. I'm ready to rip somebody's head off and pose to my skin pops. But I feel bad for those guys that have to, if this happened at the Olympia, whatever it is, it's just not going to have that same energy. And it's just like watching sports, they play the fake audience noise. And like, even I feel bad for the guys that win the Stanley Cup and there's nobody in there cheering for them. And they're like, hey, I won, big deal,
on the other hand, I honestly, I was at the Arnold. Of course, I'm sat in the front with the media. I didn't even notice there was no audience at the prejudging. I didn't even notice.
Well, you were too focused on getting the media right, not the audience.
I'm very immersed in my job. Maybe if I was there was no fans, so I couldn't say I was a fan. There was no fans allowed. So,
but stepping on stage at night when there was the fans, it was a whole nother energy. It was like, that's what we're here for, and it's the fans are what makes bodybuilding. I mean, it's fun that we compete and get out, prep, but see 10,000 fans in an audience and they're all screaming and there's an energy there that's really unmatched in a lot of sports. I think bodybuilding fans are some of the greatest fans in the world. And without them, there really isn't that same energy that you would have. So
totally agree.
I'm all for having fans there. At our shows, we had fans, as many as we can get in there.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't believe in distancing. I want people together, and that's what we have to do.
Yeah, I just hope no one at the Olympia, none of the competitors have to wear masks on stage because I don't want to see Brandon Curry and Phil Heath unless they've got some because I've got like a cool.
If I had to wear a mask, you wouldn't see my pretty smile on face, so I might be losing points then. So that
you could put some of your branding on the mask, get some free advertising.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, Steve Cook, put the dates of your next shows on there. The Steve Kuclo Classic.
Or, I might have that, sponsorship available. Put your company on the mask. That could, $10,000 sponsorship available.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to think of business opportunities with this crap.
See, this guy's a forward thinker. Steve, this has been wonderful, mate. Just like I said, I just wanted to catch up and see what you've been up to, and it's good to hear you're doing well. And
I think over the next few weeks, or as we get closer to the Olympia, I keep an eye on things. I'll be glad to get back on the show and partake in some analysis of things. And if you want my opinion, or I'll be happy to get back on with you because I love you, Giles.
Oh, there you go. Did you get that on camera?
You got that on camera.
All right then, Steve. Well, I'm going to go to the gym myself now and try and get as big as you.
Hey, let's do it. I'll have a beer for you tonight. How about
well, there's no Olympia, so you can have one. So, all right, Steve.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.